Brian, before we touch on this weekend's game against Bolton, we'll just recap Tuesday night. You know, what are your thoughts on that now? You've had a couple of days to process that game.
Yeah, obviously very disappointed with the outcome, but really pleased with the performance of the lads. You know, I asked for a reaction from them. I asked them to be men, to stand up and be counted, and they give me that in abundance. So really proud of the performance of the lads. You know, let's make no bones about it. They were going to a top team in Crawley who'd won 3 on the bounce. I think, don't know if there were 4 unbeaten at home as well. Or 4 wins at home on the bounce. So really tough task for the lads, and they applied themselves with 100% commitment, desire, showed me that fight, that spirit that we're after, and they were really unfortunate not to get the win. You know, we talk about the refereeing decision there at the end. We're on the wrong side of it again, but also the refereeing decision for our penalty. Someone will have to explain the laws to me, because I must be behind on it. I thought that if you're brought down, you're the last man, and there's no intention to play the ball, then that's a red card with the double jeopardy rule. If there's an intention to play the ball, it's a yellow card, but if there's no intention to play the ball and it's not accidental, then it's a red card. So no, gutted with that decision as well. That would have changed the landscape, but we've got to dust ourselves down, be positive and move on.
And I think that's for 3 games in a row now where there's been, you know, a late goal conceded. How do you get that into the lads about almost seeing games out now? Because, you know, there would have been a lot more points on the board had those goals not gone in.
Yeah, I think we're probably 7 points worse off than we can be, you know, in terms of the refereeing decisions and the late goals. And with late goals, generally, it comes down to 1 or 2 things. It comes down to fitness, or it comes down to decision making. You know, our fitness levels, I think, have improved rapidly. You know, the stats are telling us that the fitness levels are very high. But you know, as teams take more risks towards the back end of the game, and they do unorthodox things like chucking centre backs up, we need to stay composed, see them off, and really punish them. And you know, we've almost done that in the 2 games, Cambridge and last night in Crawley. I liken it to the analogy of it's a boxer. You know, he's down on the points, massively out of the game, and in the final round he comes out swinging. Well, we need to stay composed, we need to keep our guard up, and when the moment comes to land the knockout blow or punish them for the windmilling, if you will, then we've got to take that opportunity. But we haven't. We've been KO'd with a couple of late blows. So that's a learning curve. That comes with experience. That comes with composure, which we're working towards, and takes time.
And you mentioned experience there. We mentioned it on Tuesday night. Having your captain back, James Clarke, was a huge boost for yourself and for the entire squad, wasn't it?
Massively. You know, James Clarke, he gives so much to the team. You know, the not just his performance, because he's a good footballer, and he's proven himself at League One level. You know, I had him with me at Bristol Rovers, and he was probably player of the season at Bristol Rovers. He's been unfortunate to be on the back end of some poor injuries, which has hampered him, but what James Clarke gives you is loads and loads of experience, but also guile and a lesson in the dark arts to the younger players. You know, the amount of times he wins fouls when he's under pressure, or he makes good decisions. You know, some of our boys could learn so much from him. Even the forward lads, you know, the amount of fouls we give away in the final third and just relieve pressure for opposition teams is criminal at times. And you know, James Clarke's a master of that, of the dark arts of the game, and that's what you need. You need these experienced boys in and around it who's going to show you the way.
You've already mentioned Crawley, who were in good form going into our game on Tuesday, not a team in red hot form is the team we're going to be playing this weekend, Bolton Wanderers. What are you expecting from them?
Another tough task, we've had to play these informed teams. Bradford were red hot when we played them. Exeter have been a top team in good form. You can reel them off in the fixtures that I've been in charge of. Even Newport, you look at Newport and everyone say, well, they were in poor form, but the game they played against us was the first time that they had all the players back from suspension, and their form's picked up. Bolton are probably now the hottest team in the league. They're in a real good moment in terms of their season, where the pinching wins when they probably don't deserve to pinch wins, but the majority of the wins they've earned. They're playing a real nice, attractive brand of football, and they're dominating games. We're preparing ourselves for the toughest fixture we can have, and the lads will have to stand up and be counted once again. But I've got every confidence in the boys, because they don't lack the mentality. It's quality sometimes we're lacking, but not mentality.
This is a game that they go into knowing full well that they've played away at the likes of Cambridge, Exeter, Crawley most recently, and they've given arguably some of the most informed and some of the better teams position-wise in the league, really good games, and arguably they've come out on top on the majority of them. Yeah,
we've got a top group of lads in that changing rooms. Like I said, we're probably, you look at the Stevenage game there, we're 1-0 up and we get a man sent off. There's 2 points dropped. The Newport game, it was an offside. There's another point dropped. Bradford, we don't get the penalty, which was Stonewall penalty. There's another point dropped. Cambridge, we should have had a penalty to go 1-0 up, and then the score last minute. There's another point. The Crawley game there, with 2 points dropped there. So we should really be 7 points better off, and the league table's a little bit false for us. We're a good team. We're lacking goals and creating opportunities at the moment because confidence is low, but once we get the ball rolling and the confidence up, we're a match for anyone. And I wouldn't want to go to war with a different group of players than I've got in that changing rooms. They give me everything, as you've seen against Exeter, as you've seen against Crawley. It's my job to create more opportunities for them and get that confidence up, which no doubt will happen soon.
How do you go about doing that? You get time out on the training pitch, albeit probably minimal between Tuesday and Saturday games. How do you go about getting those opportunities in a game? I know we've discussed it before, when they go over the white line, it's completely down to them. You can have a minimal say when they go out there, but how do you get that into their heads now to say this is what we need to do to create those opportunities?
Yeah, well, that comes with potentially just like I said, I made a mistake against the Barrow game, picked the wrong team and maybe overcomplicated the tactics. What we need to do, we need to ask teams questions, dumb it down a little bit, get that confidence up, get that win, get that confidence up, and roll on from there. But we have done that. The performance against Crawley there, we were asking questions, but we've been done again by poor officiating, and it's very, very difficult to get the ball rolling when you're getting stung by these poor decisions. And that is the old cliche of controlling the controllables. We can't control poor refereeing. All we can do is set the team up, organise them, and ask them to implement the game plan. And no doubt when we do that and we keep chipping away, the luck will eventually turn. That's what they tell me. They tell me it evens itself out over the course of a season. I'm not so sure. What are we, 8 games into my tenure, and we've been done with 6 poor decisions, really poor decisions. And maybe after 100 games as me as a manager, potentially we might see some evening out, but short term we're not seeing that at the minute. But we can't let that get us down. We've got to dust ourselves down, prepare ourselves again, and implement the next game plan.